Welcome back to our next session on decimal fractions. This will be my third class on decimal fractions. So now you have an idea that how you can compare or you can find out which decimal is a bigger one and which is a smaller one, and you can arrange in ascending or descending order. This I did in my previous video. Today let's take some example, or let's just discuss one thing. Now if you get 4.5 marks in your test, I'm not saying you're getting 4.5 marks out of 10, but if you get 4.5 marks out of 10, right, and you know it is also written as 4.5, you have done, like you are used to this. 4.5 is also 4.5. Now you see 4.5 is in which form? Fraction form. And the same can be written in which form? Decimal form. And this you are very used to. That 4.5 marks in the test can be written as 4.5. That means fractions and decimals are nothing, but they are different ways of representing the same thing. Let's take one more example. There is a cake here, right? And you divide into two equal parts. So this part would be one part out of two equal parts. This part is one part out of two equal parts. So write as a fraction as what? 1/2. And we also write this as the same thing in decimal as 0.5. So the same thing in fraction form is 1/2 and the same thing in decimal form is 0.5. That means both of these fraction and decimals are two different ways of representing the same thing. If they are representing the same thing, we can easily convert one form to the other. So my today's class is based on that only. My today's class is interconversion, that is how to convert fraction to decimal and decimals to fractions. So that is my today's class. It is, now you have understood that both are representing the same thing, so they can be interconverted also. So from fraction to decimal, from fraction to decimal, and decimal to fraction, how we convert, we will study this part. Let's take any decimal number, say 1.3, simple decimal number, and I have to convert it to fraction. Now right now I am telling you first example how to convert a decimal to a fraction. Now it is very easy, simple method. In the first step, you in the beginning, like while you are learning it, with pencil put that line for the for numerator and denominator. For the decimal, remove decimal and put 1. Decimal I am just showing so that you know, although it is not necessary to show this, right? But in the beginning you can show with pencil that I am removing decimal, and instead of decimal what you are putting? 1. And as many digits are there after decimal, put zeros, that many zeros after that. So 1.3 is nothing but what? 13/10. Let's take another example. 41.63. Well, to convert it into, now in the beginning as I said, you copy the decimal, otherwise you don't need to copy the decimal also. That we can do orally also, mentally. But in the beginning you copy the decimal, remove decimal, put 1. And how many digits follow after decimal? 2. So put 2 zeros. So what would be your answer? 4163 divided by 100. One more example. It's very easy to convert decimals to fraction. 0.01. Right? Now that means 0, I am copying it. For decimal, I put 1. And how many zeros should follow after that? 2 zeros. Now, if the decimal is removed, it is nothing but 1. 001 is nothing but 1. So it is what? 1/100. Right, children? So you have understood how to convert decimal to fraction. Now vice versa. That means from fraction to decimal. Okay. from fraction to decimal. Second case, from fraction to decimal. Now I have got two examples, three examples. Say example 1, example 2 and example 3. Three examples are already there. Now again a very simple method of converting. Now these are what type of fractions, children? These are all decimal fractions. What are decimal fractions? The fractions in which the denominator is 10 or powers of 10. Don't just say multiples of 10, because 20 is also multiple of 10, 40 is also multiple of 10. So 10 or powers of 10, that is 10 raised to power 2 is 100, 10 raised to power 3 is 1000, 10, 100,000. Then such fractions are called as what? Decimal fractions. The name of the chapter is, right? So if, now see how to remove this denominator and introduce the decimal. Count number of zeros which are here. 1, 0 in the denominator. Start counting from right to left. From right to left. So as many zeros are there, that many places should be left, and then we put the decimal. So 1 0. So from right to left, it would be what? 1.3. Right? Now see, how many zeros are there? 2 zeros. From right to left, two places. 1, 2. So what will get? 41.63. Similarly here. Now, 2 zeros are there. So from right to left, two places should be there. Now but there is only one digit here. So what to do if there is only one digit? Well, we will put 0 there. So 1, 0, because there should be two places. And put that decimal. Since, now this is an answer, but if we just write point like that, it may not, sometimes it may be overlooked. So to ensure that we do not overlook this, we put a 0 here. So then this point is very prominent and clear. So we never write any number, any value as 0.2 like that, no. Because this can be overlooked, right? So always when there is no digit before that, we put 0. Right, children? So this first part is clear. If any decimal fraction is there, how you convert it into decimal? Just count the number of zeros in the denominator, and from right to left, from that side to this, that many digits you will take. 1, 2. Put it here. Okay. Maybe one more example. 5 by 1000. 3 zeros. Well, from right to left we have proceeded. Right to left, how many zeros? 1, 2, 3. So 5, 1, 2. So now what would be 5, 1 more 0, 2, 1 more 0, and 3 decimal places should be there. So this is the first type in which the decimal fraction is converted into the decimal, right? Fraction is converted to a decimal. Now in the second type, children. Now second would be very interesting. I'll give you a very easy format for that. Okay. In the second type, if the denominators are not powers of 10, it's not a decimal fraction. Now, if it is not a decimal fraction, there can be three cases. If denominator is 2 or 5, we can convert it to its equivalent fraction with denominator 10. Second, if denominator is 4, 5, 20, 25 or 50, very easy, you'll understand it very easily. You can convert it to its equivalent fraction with denominator, which one? 100. Same. With equivalent fraction with denominator 100. And third possibility is if denominator is 25, 200, 250, even 8 also, 8, 25, 125, for 25 already covered, 8, 125, 200, 250 or 500, we can convert these denominators to an equivalent fraction with denominator 1000. Now how to do it? Very easy. For 2, you multiply by 5, it's converted to 10, and 5 you multiply by 2, it is converted to 10. 4 is multiplied by 25, 5 is multiplied by 20, 20 is multiplied by 5, 25 would be multiplied by 4, and 50 is multiplied by 2, you get 100. You can remember this easily, that's why I am making it for you also, that you can note it down, right? Now 8 multiplied by 125 gives you 1000. Now 125 into 8 will give you 1000. 200 into 5 would give you 1000. 250 into 4 would give you 1000. And 500 into 2 would give you 1000. If you memorize it, it would be very easy to convert these denominators which are in blue into powers of 10, and then it is just, it would be like a decimal fraction. Right children? So this you can note down. You will note down, so that can be easily converted. Now let's take some examples. So you will say, you will write down this portion so that it would be very helpful to you. So I am taking some examples. Alright. So I'll take say 4 to 4 for example, children. Example 1, it is 13 by 8. Example 2, it is 41 by 125. Example 3, it is 7 by 200. Example 4, it is 91 by 25. Alright. Or maybe it is 11 by, and it is 3 by 8. Okay. So now I have to do what? I have to convert these into decimals. I have to convert. And now very easy. I'll first convert these to what? The equivalent fractions by the denominators which are powers of 10. Now what did I tell you? For 8, to multiply both numerator and denominator by 125. Right? So 3 into 125 is 375. 3, 5, 15, 6, 7 and 1, 375, correct? Upon 1000. Now how many zeros are there? You remember the order in which I have told you? The order goes from which one? From right to left, like this. From right to left. From right to left. So how many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3 zeros. So it should be 1, 2, 3. My decimal should be here. So what would be my answer? My answer would be 0.375. Can I write just like this? No. What I have to put? A 0. What is my answer? 0.375. So easy. 125. What do you multiply? Multiply both numerator and denominator by 8. I have given you the table. If you memorize it, it would be easy. Now, 8 ones 8 and 3 to 8 by 1000. How many zeros? 3 zeros. So it would be 1, 2, 3. The decimal comes here. So what is my answer? 0.328. Right children? So easy. 200. 200 to be converted to 1000 by multiplying by 5. 35 by 1000. How many zeros? 3. So So here again from right to left, 1, 2 and one more. So here I have to put a 0. So what would be my answer? 0.035. Clear? And here 25 can be converted to 100 by multiplying by 4. So it is 44 by 100. 2 zeros. I'll shift my decimal 2 places from right to left. It is 0.44. Very easy, children, isn't it? Very, very easy. Okay. So now we were converted all the fractions which I took in this case were all proper fractions, but they were not decimal fractions. We converted each of those fractions to their decimal fractions, right? Now if it is not a proper fraction, if it is mixed fraction, then how will you handle it? That would be my next case. So for conversion of mixed fraction into decimal, alright? Okay. So I am taking 1 or 2 examples, or I am taking question number 4 of your exercise. I will take say even subparts. Working would be very easy. So I will take up second, fourth. This is my exercise number 5C, question number 4. Question number 1, 2, 3 also I will take up. Since I am explaining the mixed fraction to be converted to decimal, I am taking questions from your book. But working is same as the previous one, right? So it is question number 4, second part, 3 whole 1 by 4. Fourth part, 12 whole 4 by 5. Sixth part, 2 whole 4 by 25. And the eighth part is 4 whole 11 by 20. Again refer to the table which I have given to you of how to convert to decimal fraction. Okay, now children. So first I will convert to improper fraction. 4, 3 times 12 plus 1, 13 by 4. Right? Now 4 can be easily converted to denominator 100 by multiplying both numerator and denominator by 25. Now 13 5 times is 65. 13 2 times is 26. 26 plus 6, 32. And this is upon denominator 100. Now what will you do, children? How many places? 2 places. So what is my answer? 2 places, which is here. My answer is 3.25. Not difficult. Only one step more, that is to convert mixed fraction into improper fraction. Alright. 12 5 times is 60. 12 5 times is 60 and 64 by 5. Now 5 can be easily converted to equivalent fraction with denominator 10. So I multiply by 2. So 8, 128 by 10. How many zeros? 1 0. So how many places from right to left? 1 only. 1. So what is my answer? 12.8. Right? Easy? Okay, now see the next one. Convert it into 25. 2 times is 50 plus 4. 54 by 25. 25 can easily be converted to 100 by multiplying by 4. You get 4 times is 16. 4 5 is 20. 216 by 100. How many zeros? 2 zeros. So how many places from right to left? 1, 2 will each here. What is my answer? 2.16. Easy? Similarly here, let's convert it into mixed fraction. 80 plus 11, 91 by 20. 20 by multiplying by 5. You can convert it to 100. So you multiply both numerator because we cannot just multiply denominator. So it it is 5. 9 5 45 by 100. How many zeros, children, in the denominator? 2. So from right to left, shift 2 places, and my answer is 4.55. So easy. Now children, I am sure, since if you have seen the working of this, the previous ones you can do in the same way as I have explained in the example. So what you do, I am giving you the assignment for this exercise would be all questions, even subparts. All questions, there are only 4 questions, even subparts. Even subparts to be done in your classwork register. So for this exercise 5C, you will do all questions. There are 4 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, even subparts in your register. So I think this part, interconversion from fraction to decimal and decimal to fraction, must be clear to you, children. Now there are all the questions in your book are based on what examples I have taken. I am sure you can easily manage. Remember, for this, that table which I have given you, in which you can convert the denominators, I have given you the numbers by which to multiply. If you go through that 2-3 times, if you see this video 2-3 times, you will remember it. There would be no difficulty. And once if you note down in your register, children. I told in my video, you write down in your register and then you start doing this exercise. That table which I have given you, first write that and then start exercise 5C in your register. Clear, children? Do not start your work in a hurry. First you note down that table which I gave you, where I have given 3 points of converting denominators into 10, 100 and 1000, and then you start exercise 5C, all questions, even subparts. Alright, so do it. Take care. God bless you, children. Bye.